to start off, as always, by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim pushing this word out there in all sincerity and in all truth. Starting with the 144,000, which is the head of the elect, and down to the large multitude, the men, women, and children whom the Lord has foreordained, to receive mercy through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice. This lesson is going to be, focused on a response, to this video that you see here on screen, going into, pretty much the degeneracy, of America, which is Mystery Babylon, the great mother of harlots, the daughter of Babylon. Scripture refers to her as different things, but the degeneracy, and the inevitable decline and demise, of America. So I'm gonna play the video without further ado, and then get into a few precepts.
Did you know that German high school students learn about U.S. propaganda in their English courses in high school? Recently, a follower asked to send me a textbook that they use in German 11th to 13th grade English courses to study U.S. propaganda. So like in the United States, where we study German World War II propaganda, in Germany, they're studying current U.S. propaganda. They cover everything from U.S. exceptionalism to the American dream, and they show German students how U.S. citizens have been led to have a lack of self-critical awareness to how their ideals have failed. I didn't want to believe it at first, but if you Google the name of the textbook and the word Abitur, which is the final stage of German high school, it returns all kinds of study guides and notes. And what really shook me is that on one of these study guides, it says, the U.S. has become a wasteful consumer society of lonely individuals. So if you've ever wondered how some people outside of the U.S. view the U.S.
Right. So, the video speaks for itself, right? The video speaks for itself. It's showing, the moral, the intellectual, and even spiritual decline, of Babylon the Great. And it shows how even her allies, because Germany is an ally, of the US right now. Germany is a part of the EU, Germany is a part of NATO, and they are allies, of America, but they are in their high schools are studying, US propaganda and are teaching their students how, Americans are, a wasteful society full of lonely individuals, So if an ally is teaching that, can you imagine Russian high schools, Chinese high schools, or other states where you can't even imagine Iranian high schools or Iranian schools. This is how the world is looking at America right now, as a failed state, a state that is degenerate, and most people who live in America still are under the illusion that America is this great bastion of global power. That they are pretty much, America is still that golden city that everyone wants to go to. They still think that America is this great place, this great country that is the best country in the world, and really and truly it's not. And other countries know that. Other countries are seeing that, right? But Americans still think. And even a lot of people over here in the West, like especially from the the Caribbean, Jake still thinks that America is that's where it is, that's where it's at, so they still try to run away, and migrate, whether legally or illegally, they go in sham weddings and stuff like that to get the green card and citizenships and stuff like that. But the rest of the world, the rest of the intellectual world, even their allies, as we just showed, is showing that, America is no longer looked up to, right? So let's get into the scriptures. This is Isaiah 47 verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and desolate. So this is the prophecies of the Lord coming to pass. It's the Spirit of the Lord that's leading America down this path of degeneracy, right? This path of moral decay, this path of intellectual decay, right? And you see it even on on TikTok. The things that are popular on TikTok now are what? They have some things called haul culture, HAUL. Haul culture is pretty much young people buying a bunch of stuff that they don't need to open it up in a TikTok video and have people like it, right? You're spending thousands and thousands of US dollars on stuff, on clothes, electronics, makeup, whatever else it is, in order to just open it up in front of a video and get likes and views and comments. You know, there are a lot of other degenerate things, you see on TikTok and YouTube. I've seen a few YouTube videos the other day showing how degenerate, a lot of these YouTubers are. They do the stupidest things. Some of them actually threatening their own safety. One of them actually died during one of them stupid stunts. I think him and his girlfriend were trying to prove that a book could stop a bullet. And the bullet went right through the book and hit the guy, and she was charged with involuntary manslaughter. It's just downright stupidity, and all this just for views, right? So they're just as the textbook or the notes for the textbook said, in America is a consumerist society filled with lonely individuals. So nations are no longer looking at America as this moral high ground, as this bastion of what a perfect society should be, of success. Of more. America is no longer the moral standard. Right? This is take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, and pass over the rivers. Right now, if you go to a lot of the major cities in America, they're all run down. They're full of homeless people on the streets, bugged out of their mind because they're high on some form of drug or the other, fentanyl or crack or whatever it is. Thy nakedness shall also be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. And the nations are seeing the shame of America right now, right? And following suit is Israel, right? Nations are looking on Israel in a different light now, more than ever. They're seeing the atrocities that these people are committing, and they're seeing the blatant genocide that is being promoted in the Israeli state, right? I will take vengeance, I will not meet the other man. As for our Redeemer, right, the Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms, right? I was wroth with my people, I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand, because, America is where a lot of slaves, Israelites were taken, So then the scripture said that in Babylon, both the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed, right? Roughly paraphrasing, meaning the northern and the southern kingdom, right? Because you have the northern kingdom in America and the southern kingdom also, oppressed there. That's the epicenter, of the curses, cleaving to Jake. Yeah, we experience it also in the Caribbean, in Europe, in Central South America, right? It says, as thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, for thou didst not lay these things to heart, neither did remember the latter end. I saw another video the other day, showing, all the different coups that America has carried out just in North and in Central and South America alone, right? Every single country, saving one or two, just a handful, have been overthrown at one point or another from the 1940s until now by the U.S. government. And that's just Central and South America, right? That's not to mention the rest of the world. And these things are coming out. These things are being revealed now more and more, right? That devil that died the other day, Henry Kissinger, right? People know what kind of a devil he was, and and it's being revealed, Therefore, now hear know this, though that are given to pleasures, right? Because that's what America is all about. Overconsumption. It's a consumerist society. It's all about getting your next high on pleasure, right? You see it in the hall culture. You see it in the FOMO culture, the fear of missing out, You see it all over social media. You see it in the movies. You see it in the TV shows, America is all about pleasure, feeding your pleasure and chasing after that, right? That dwelleth carelessly, right? That saith in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. These two things shall come to thee in a moment. In one day, the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and the great abundance of thine enchantments, right? Because that's what a lot of people are even revealing right now, how the music industry, The Hollywood, so the entertainment industry in general is just full of witchcraft, right? It's full of enchantment and sorceries, right? Child molestation, child sacrifice, all that stuff is being revealed now at an all-time high, right? The marketing industry is the same thing, right? Spells are used to cast upon people to get them to buy, products, to forward that consumerism agenda, you know? The fast food is the same thing. There are certain chemicals that are being used in there, certain frequencies that are being used in the colors, in the shapes to get people to consume and indulge in unhealthy habits, right? It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none is beside thee. But no, even your allies are studying your degeneracy. Even your allies are teaching their youth not to be like you, and showing their youth your shame, right? Therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Let me jump to another precept here. This is Obadiah chapter 1, right? And I'll start from verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and prevailed against thee, and they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. All your allies are showing your nakedness, and forsaking you. Nahum 3:1, woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery, the prey departed not. Who is the prey? The prey is Jake, right? The noise of a whip, the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing horse, and of the jumping chariots, right? The horseman lifteth up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain and great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. America was built on the blood and corpses of Jake, both from the northern tribes and the southern tribes, right? That's how America built their wealth, right? Because of the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot, right? The mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame, right? And it shall come to pass, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and I will set thee as a gazing stock, right? And in the video, right, Germany was an example, of who is gazing at them and looking at their filth, right? And teaching their youth about the filth of America. So can you imagine how little respect an American has when they go to Germany? Because the German students are learning how morally inept they are, how morally destitute and degenerate they are, how lonely and sad they are, right? We jump to our next precept here. It's Revelation 17 and 15. And this is showing you how these nations their minds are turning against America, right? To ultimately fulfill this prophecy here, which we're going to read. And then we're going to wrap. We have a next precept before we wrap. Revelation 17 and 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth, which is, the whore is America, Mystery Babylon the Great, right? Our peoples, multitude, nations, and tongues, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. This is NATO and the EU, right? Those are the 10 horns, right? And shall make her desolate, and eat her fresh, and burn her with fire. For Yahweh hath put it in their heart to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Lord be fulfilled, right? It's Jeremiah 51. I'll start from verse 6. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. And it's not talking about a literal fleeing, like you had the flee doctrine that was taught among some Israelite camps, right? This is talking about a spiritual fleeing. Don't partake in the spirit of America, right? Don't partake in that consumerism, constantly indulging in your flesh culture, right? It says, be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that had made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. And if you look at parallels between how America is right now and how Rome was at the end of their might, or right when they were falling, right? It was an age of moral degradation, of moral degeneracy, right? Where there was this overindulgence in pleasures. And that's what America is right now. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone to his own country. And that's what's being taught even among her allies. For her judgment reaches up unto heaven and is lifted up to the sky. The Lord has brought forth our righteousness. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord has raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, speaking about those Russians, for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. So with that, hope this lesson was edifying. Until next time, shalom, shalom.